Welcome to the weekly roundup. It's Div 5 time. How you going, Dars?
Nosy, good thanks. How was your weekend?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. Did your first live call on Sunday with the producer and TJ?
Yes, how'd it go?
It was pretty good, actually. I enjoyed it. I was nervous as hell at the start. Had to lubricate the throat with a few bevies early on, mate, just to loosen up a little bit. And yeah, no, it was really good. It was great fun. You know, full credit to it was actually a Div 5 game.
Yes.
Full credit to everyone out of Glenunga. They've done an amazing job out there and really looked after us. So thank you very much to all the people out of Glenunga.
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's kick it straight off. We'll go into the East Parklands.
More big scores coming.
It was CBC 19-12-126. Absolutely gave Hope Valley a hiding. 4 goals, 8-32.
That's CBC, Valley, so.
CBC moving along quite nicely. I have been saying that for a while. The old Z-Man told me that they're probably one of the best sides he's played against this year. Anyway, for CBC we had McDonald and Pickering both kicking 4, as did Rutai. Roman, both the Roman brothers kicking 2 with Turner, the Turner brothers. M. Turner and S. Turner in the best, and Rutai as well. And for Hope Valley, mate?
There you go. Hellman's with 2 with a couple of the goal scorers there with, you've done this to me again.
Rentoulis, mate.
Rentoulis, Hardy and Dugan. For in amongst the best players, but I think that just that kills Hope Valley's chance of the final 5 now. I think 2 games. They've dropped a couple of games out.
Dropped a couple of games, close games as well throughout the year, which is really going to hurt them. So anyway, the next one was out at Limbourne Park. It was Paraka 21-12-138, beating Blackfriars, which was a shock. I picked Blacks 12-12-84. You know, 9-goal win to the Bulls. They're starting to gather a little bit of momentum, which is good to see. So with Paraka, we had Batten kicking 6, Baker with 5, Polensov with 2, a heap of other blokes kicking singles, with Chrissy Adams best on ground with Gant and Batten. And for Blackfriars, mate,
Scafidi Muta kicking bagging 6, so nice work with him with Lilia Iluano,
Matty Iluano,
and a couple of goal scorers there with Bortolotti, thank you, and Scafidi Muta in amongst the best players. So,
and Matty Brinkat, their third best, one of the best blokes of amateur league footy you'll ever find, mate. He's an absolute ripper of a man.
Where was he been before though?
He's been at Blacks for a while. Yep, I think he's an ex-Blacks boy. Honestly, mate, one of the best ruckmen you'll see, and even better bloke to boot.
Probably a name that's been around the place, but that sort of cements Paraka's final 5 spot, I think. So that was well done. It could have been differently if we called before, so if they won, Hope Valley won and they lost, but it wasn't to be, so it was the other way around, and I think that just about cements the final 5 for this division.
Yep. The next one we move on to was out of Lockleys Oval. Z-Boys, Lockleys, 23-17-155, giving Steamboats Boys Rosewater 12-12-84, a bit of a touch-up. Pretty level up to half time, and then Lockleys just kind of put the foot down, ran away with it. You know, Rosewater might be looking at Div 6.
Yeah, well,
it pains me to say it. Sorry, Trev.
Because of Trev, we feel he's done a lot of work.
He's done a lot of work. Yep. They might need to go down just to re-establish themselves, consolidate, I suppose you could say, and then come back into it. But anyway, for Lockleys, we had Carl Mickard kicking 10, Patton with 4, Spur and Langcake with 2 apiece, with Mickard obviously best, Martinello and Tertulio for the Demons, and for Rosewater, mate.
Yeah, we've got Pearce with in relation to the coach, Pearce the 3, don't know, D. Pearce, no, it could be, but
producers on Tinder again.
Shit.
Yep.
No, produce it? No, he doesn't. Doesn't
shaking his head.
So Williams with 3 and split around there after that with about 7 other players. With Pepe, best player there, with the 2 Williams boys.
Jakey Williams and Nick Williams,
and amongst the best players.
Yep. You know, it's Lockleys moving along nicely, but you know, Rosewater have held their, can hold their heads high, but they have been struggling.
Absolutely.
Shock of the round, I reckon.
The scores though.
I know, the biggest. Woody South have gone and knocked off sides like Lockleys. They've knocked off. Who'd they knock off the week before? I can't think off the top of my head. But they've beaten good sides. They've gone and beaten top sides, and they go out to Kenilworth. The big ground at Kenilworth, I think maybe they were a little bit too tall, Woody South, but full credit to the Kookaburras, mate. And it was Kenilworth, 7 goals, 10-52. Defeated Woody South, 6-5-41. big shock.
But like with the low-scoring game.
Low-scoring games, it gets a bit windy in there, mate. It is that bit of a
horrible game. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Yep. It's a big oval.
Yeah, and it just draws a little bit of wind. Anyway, Veen Villette kick 2, Simmering with 2. Crab, Cheek and Bickmore in the best for the Cookers, mate, and for Woody South.
Yeah, we've got Edwards and Summer both kicking 2, and then Murdoch and Casaza.
Yep.
And then we got the best play was
Giacardos,
Bortonello, and Waddell.
Waddell, yep.
Best players. So, Woody South be disappointed. They can't get relegated, can't make the finals. It's sort of a nothing sort of game for them. But Kenilworth must, gee whiz, that could have saved their bacon there.
Could save their bacon, yeah.
For the relegation.
And the last game of the round, what's the game of the round that we did the live call at? Yep, and it was Glenunga 26-9, 165, giving Greenacres an absolute bar, 4 goals, 6-30. That first quarter says it all. 8 goals, 1 to 1 behind. Greenacres really struggling as a club. Forfeited their B grade.
Yeah.
They forfeited their B grade.
Struggling big time.
You know, you had a lot of blokes running around in that A grade side. They're probably on the other side of 30. Later side of 30, I suppose you could say. But full credit to them, they battled it out constantly all day. They really had a crack. Game was played in pretty good spirits, but you know, Glenunga just flexed their muscles, I suppose you could say. So Prosser kicked 9, Nick Wunke with 4, Fish Wunke with 3, McMahon with 3. Heap of other blokes kicking, or Andy Reid kicked multiples. You had Edwards, Prosser and Nick Wunke in the best. They're a very good outfit, mate. Very strong, all throughout the ground. They rotate heavily. Brian Lee's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Greenies?
Yeah, we've got Asfaha,
yep.
With 2, Clark Rentessa and Clark, and then Asfaha.
Manny Otis.
Thank you. And Dolly,
yep.
and Clark Rentessa mentioned him as well. I mean, they're all trying hard all day, but Glenunga was an easy game to call because it was such a.
It was not terrible. It was very hard for me from your first time. But it was, there's a lot of number changes and things like that. It was difficult. It was testing. Probably the word I could say.
That's a good word.
Testing. Anyway, we'll have a quick look at the ladder. Glenunga sit up top there at 12 and 3. CBC and Lockley's there levels equal second there with 11 and 4. Blackfriars 10 and 5. Cracker 9 and 6. Like we said, that's done.
Yeah.
I think the 5 is settled again in the 3rd division tonight. Hope Valley, Woody South, Kenilworth, Rosewater and Greenacres making up the rest of the pack, mate.
That's it.
Okay, let's look at this week's games.
We'll head out to Edward Smith Reserve. So Greenacres not having a good year against
Yep.
Lockleys. I think it's going to be another big win of Lockleys. Greenacres are just, as I said, we don't hope they forfeit another game in the B grade because that puts pressure on the A's.
Yep.
I think Lockleys are going to win by a good margin again.
I hope Lockleys get a good win, but I hope Greenacres get 2 sides on.
Yep. Exactly. Head out Rosewater's there, take on Kenilworth, who had that good win last week, Kenilworth, and take on Rosewater, who are struggling. So
Rosewater need to win.
This is a must. This is
Rosewater need to win.
Any game in the amateur league.
They need to win this week. Yep, they need to win this week to give a sniff that they're going to stay in Division 5. If not,
all over.
Div 6.
Yeah, because Kenilworth, they'll be 3 games clear, I think, or 2 games clear. Definitely 2 games clear. Yep. Then we've got Hope Valley. They're taking on Paraka.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to pick Kenilworth, mate.
Sorry, same here, sorry.
Yes, sorry,
Good call.
Hope Valley and Paraka?
Yep, Hope Valley and Paraka.
Paraka for me. I think they're just starting to gather a bit of momentum.
And they're like probably if they win another couple, they may get double chance. But they're probably playing for double chance at the moment. So, agree with Paraka there.
Yep.
Woody South and Seabock.
This is a tough one because Woody South have the ability to go out and knock Seabock off. They've done it.
Especially losing last week.
They've done it, right? They've knocked sides like Lockley's off. But I think Seabock really need to win this one to establish themselves as Glenunga's threat.
Big final contender as well. So Eurovision Oval, there you go. Must be like a sponsor over there.
It is, New Vision Oval. They've been sponsoring it for the last couple of seasons, mate. Yeah.
So good, but I'm going with Seabock. I'd like to see Woody South win at home, but Seabock it is.
Match of the round.
Oh, this is going to be
a real humdinger, as they say. Blackfriars versus Glenunga at St Dom's Park 2 next to the Aquatic Centre. Blackfriars on the rebound from the loss to Paraka. Glenunga moving along nicely. Glenunga are very, very well structured.
I'm going for
side.
Galunga.
Yeah.
I think they've just been too strong all year. Just lost a few games, but I'm not sure who won the first round this one. But
Yep.
I think the Rams for me.
Glenunga for me, I just think the way they line up, they've got Andy Reid just driving off that half-back line. You've got your Wonkies, you've got your Prossers, you've got your McMahons up in the forward line. You've got blokes like Guy Ward running around the middle, getting plenty of the footy. I think there's too many people to stop.
Yeah.
I really do. So Glenunga for me for probably 5 goals, I reckon. All right, that's been Div 5 this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you all again next week.
See you later.